guys, we are about to go live. We're going to test the mics. Just stop this thing a bit. We're testing the mic. Testing mic 1. Testing mic 1. We're going to test, this is full screen. Testing mode. Test. Test mic. Test. 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 Windows scene. Test. Main scene. Test. Windows scene. Test. Main scene starting soon. Be right back. Scene, streaming ending scene, starting soon scene. Okay, all is good. Thank you very much. Test out full camera scene. Right about here, I think it's good. Okay. Hey guys, how's it going? It is 8 a.m. sharp on the 21st of April 2021, and I'm pumped. I don't know whether you're pumped, but I'm surely pumped because last night, of all things that Apple actually announced, there's one thing that got me really excited. That is the Apple Podcasters Program. Okay, what's that? We'll be exploring the whole program together here on the stream, here on YouTube Live. We are now live at 8 a.m. in the morning, and I hope that many people are out there watching me. And if there's nobody watching me, I'm watching me. Shameless promotion, man. I'm doing shameless promotion every single day from now onwards. Well, if you want to know what shameless promotion is, well, stay tuned. Anyways, now I'm going to go to my YouTube and to find out how many people are right there with me on my channel right now. And so I'm clicking starting soon. I am clicking, I am watching, and I am turning down the volume. And I'm trying to find out how many people are on the stream right now. And wait for it. Wait for it. One watching! Yeah, thank you very much, Victor O, Mickey Jones, for watching me. Well, today we are going to be discussing and going through the whole Apple podcasting, from the history to the Apple Podcast program and what new software is going to be coming up for the Apple Podcast, because Apple started it all. The podcasting thing, Apple started it all. So Apple came out with the podcast, and now they are reinventing the podcast by giving you really good software to play your podcast, to even subscribe to content creators on podcast. Meaning all the podcasters that are upcoming will have the opportunity to earn a good sum of money to support themselves. I mean, yeah, we have it, people doing apps and they're they do apps, and you support them by downloading the apps and doing an in-app purchase for their many apps, subscribing to the apps, whether it's a monthly thing or annual thing. And then we have you have books, where you probably write your ebook and then you put it on an ebook store and you can earn royalties from an ebook. And let's say YouTube pays you with how many views you get, and of course, before you even try to get some money, you have to hit 1,000 subscribers in order for you to start a journey of monetizing. Okay, 1,000 subscribers. And right now, Apple is giving you the chance to join in this program that allows you to monetize right from the get-go, meaning that you don't even have to get 1,000 subscribers or whatnot. Like, say, even like Instagram, they say, okay, you can monetize, you can be able to somehow get swipe up with 10,000 followers, whatever that means. On your stories, if you want to swipe up, you have to get 10,000 followers. Really? Like, why is that so? I don't know. So that you would be killing yourself to get the 10,000 followers, which Instagram wants you to do, because Instagram wants more people to be on the platform. They want more people to follow people. 10,000 is easy, man. Walk in the park, walk in the Apple Park, right? So right now, we're going to be somehow finding out about the Apple program, and so let's go to the main scene, which is this one, and then we're going to go to Edge. There you go. That is right there. It is the podcaster program agreement that we want to go through. I'll tell you about my little experience of how I signed up for podcasting, Apple Podcast Connect, and now I've already signed up for the Apple Podcasters program too, and so I'll walk you bit by bit through the process and what this Apple Podcasters program is all about. But first we must look at what podcasting is, right? What is a podcast? A podcast is basically a radio show on demand. You can talk about anything you want and you can put it on the podcast. Usually people do just a show and they just disappear. They do they talk about Mother Earth, and they record a few audio files and then put it together, and then boom, they're gone. And then you can actually somehow access this Mother Earth episodes all your life, throughout. I mean, it's basically forever on the Apple Podcast or wherever your podcast lives. Okay, so you have Apple podcasting for anything you want. So you can have your own show, you can have your own podcasts, your own audio files to create a radio show of the 21st century. Right, so let's get down to business, right? Let's get down to business. Well, somebody came in and somebody left. It's okay. Right now we're going to see this one. Apple introduces podcast subscriptions to pay creators for content and redesigned app. I want to know what the redesigned app is all about too. So let's just listen in.
Apple introduces podcast subscriptions to pay creators for content in redesigned app. Apple has officially an all-new feature coming to podcasts next month. Apple Podcast subscriptions will allow listeners to directly support podcasters through the Podcasts app. The new service inside Apple Podcasts will be available starting in May. Here are the details. Apple Podcast subscriptions will be available to listeners
starting in May. So right now we are 21st of April, meaning that by sometime early May we'll be able to be part of this Apple subscription. I don't really worry about subscriptions right now, being paid and stuff, but it's going to be starting in May, and it's a start. And of course, we'll listen in.
over 170 countries and regions in May. Specific software requirements for Apple Podcasts subscriptions and channels will be shared ahead of availability. Pricing for each subscription is set by creators and billed monthly by default. Creators can additionally offer annual billing, which subscribers can manage from their Apple ID account settings, now accessible from Listen Now. Listeners will also be able to access free trials and sample episodes offered by creators.
Okay, so from here we know that there's going to be podcast subscriptions that is going to be live across 170 countries including Malaysia. Thank you, Apple. Thank you for including Malaysia. I really appreciate that. A lot of Malaysians throughout the country really appreciate Apple being able to launch in 170 countries right from the get-go. This should be done for every single product, for every single service there is in Apple. Please, thank you very much. Thank you. Specific software requires for Apple Podcast subscriptions and channels will be shared ahead of availability, meaning that in April we will be able to get some way to get the specific software requirements, right? Okay, great. So pricing for each subscription is set by creators and billed monthly by default. Okay, so let's just listen in first, okay? Let's not get into what I want to do first. Let's listen to what it has to offer.
Through family sharing, up to 6 family members can share a subscription. Listeners will be able to access the enhanced search tab with top charts and categories, new show and episode pages with the Smart Play button, and saved episodes on iOS 14.5, iPadOS 14.5, and macOS 11.3. Saved episodes are also available on watchOS 7.4 and tvOS 14.5. These software updates will be available next week.
Available next week.
Apple Podcasters program, which includes all of the tools needed to offer premium subscriptions on Apple Podcasts, is available to creators in over 170 countries and regions for $19.99 US per year. Creators can enroll in the Apple Podcasters program today through Apple Podcasts Connect. Apple Podcasts features more than 2 million free shows and is available for free on iPhone, iPad, iPod Touch, Mac, Apple Watch, Apple TV, HomePod Mini, CarPlay, iTunes on Windows, and other smart speakers and car systems. Apple leads the next chapter of podcasting with Apple Podcast subscriptions. Press release April 20th, 2021. Major updates to Apple Podcasts make discovering and enjoying podcasts better than ever before. Cupertino, California. Apple today unveiled Apple Podcast subscriptions, a global marketplace for listeners to discover premium subscriptions offered by their favorite creators alongside millions of free shows on Apple Podcasts. Starting in May, listeners in more than 170 countries and regions can sign up for premium subscriptions that include a variety of benefits curated by creators, such as ad-free listening, access to additional content, and early or exclusive access to new series. Listeners will be able to enjoy premium subscriptions from independent voices and premier studios, including Tenderfoot TV, Pushkin Industries, Radiotopia from PRX, and Code, to leading media and entertainment brands, including NPR, the Los Angeles Times, The Athletic, Sony Music Entertainment, and many more. 15 years ago, Apple took podcasts mainstream, offering creators a premier, open platform to inform, entertain, and inspire hundreds of millions of listeners around the world, said Eddie Q, Apple's Senior Vice President of Internet Software and Services. Today, Apple Podcasts is the best place for listeners to discover and enjoy millions of great shows, and we are proud to lead the next chapter of podcasting with Apple Podcast subscriptions. We're excited to introduce this powerful new platform to creators around the world, and we can't wait to hear what they make with it. Also next month, listeners will be able to discover channels, which are groups of shows curated by creators with unique titles, descriptions, and artwork. Just as they can with shows, listeners will be able to browse free channels, which make it easy to find more shows from their favorite creators, as well as paid channels and channels that provide additional benefits for subscribers. With iOS 14.5, listeners can access a redesigned Apple Podcasts app featuring an enhanced search tab that provides quick access to top charts and categories. Apple Podcasts also features beautiful new pages for every show and episode to make it easier to follow, listen, and share. The new Smart Play button helps listeners automatically start episodic shows from the latest episode and serialized shows from the beginning of each series. Listeners can also now save individual episodes, which are downloaded for offline playback, making it easy to bookmark podcasts to listen to later from Library. The new Apple Podcasts for Creators website helps creators learn more about podcasting, stay informed about the latest news and features, and explore in-depth guides with best practices. Starting today, all creators can access an updated Apple Podcasts Connect dashboard, which has new features that make it easier to manage shows on Apple Podcasts, including the ability to edit metadata, schedule and manage show availability, organize shows into channels, manage multiple users and roles, and learn how listeners are engaging with their shows through new performance metrics and visualization tools. From Apple Podcasts Connect, creators can enroll in the new Apple Podcasters program, which provides access to all the tools needed to build and distribute premium subscriptions on Apple Podcasts. Creators share their enthusiasm for the next chapter of podcasting with Apple Podcast subscriptions. Podcasts have made it possible for creators to share their voices with listeners around the world. Apple Podcast subscriptions takes this unique relationship to the next level by offering creators a way to tighten the bond with their most engaged listeners. Martin Abraham Salonga, CEO and Chief Editor of You Had Me at Black, as an independent show that started 5 years ago, we've always been powered by our community. And our community is hungry for more. More stories and more episodes, sooner. Apple Podcast subscriptions empowers us to deliver that. With our subscription, listeners can hear new seasons and episodes first, before anyone else, while also supporting our growth and sustainability. Donald Albright, President and co-founder of Tenderfoot TV, with Tenderfoot Plus, we're able to provide our listening community with even more of what they want: exclusive, early access, and ad-free listening for our tentpole titles and new shows. Launching this subscription on Apple Podcasts, where the large majority of our listeners engages with us each week, makes it easy for the Tenderfoot audience to seamlessly upgrade to the best experience.
Hi, Tim. Yeah, hi, Vic. Nice to see you here. Nice to see you, Tim. Really thank you for stopping by. What is the Podcasters program? Very, very great question. The Podcaster program is basically a program where you can create as many shows as you want, as many episodes as you want, as long as you're able to create and put it onto the podcast, and people listen to it and people love it, they would subscribe to your podcast. Meaning that last time, if you want to create something to sell on Apple, yes, you can create apps. Yes, you can create Apple Books. Yes, you can create what else can you create that the Apple ecosystem supports? Apps and books, right? Now you are and music. So now you can create podcasts and get paid for it. What do you think, Tim? They have the Apple Podcasters program, which if you sign up for a fee, you get a cut of the profits that every single person that subscribes to you for the Apple Podcasts. I don't really make sense, do I? Okay, so it's basically if you put your Apple, if you sign up for the Podcasters program, you can monetize, meaning that like buying an app on the Apple iPhone, you can subscribe and let's say Mikey Jones, okay, my channel, okay, you subscribe for 1 month. I can basically charge any amount I want. So let's just say I charge $4.99 for a month and $29.99 a year, okay? So with that $4.99 or $29.99, Apple will take 30% and I keep 70%, meaning that they will bank 70% of that $4.99 or $29.99 to my account. Yes, there's free episodes and there's subscriber episodes. It's just like your app, you know, there's free and there's also paid. So now Apple gives you the chance to allow your subscribers or your listeners the possibility to pay you monthly or even yearly for your your hard work, your super hard work to bring a great podcast to the world, well, I mean, in terms of say subscribers, you can charge anything you want, but I'm thinking at this point in time, I'm thinking $4.99 a month and $29.99 a year. So if you were to do the math, $29.99 divided by 12 is about $2. So it's like $2. It's like a 50% discount, right? If you subscribe annually. So for me, I'm gonna go into the details later on. But then right now, I'm super pumped because Apple Podcaster program has already started. I have already signed up for the Apple Podcaster program, which I have to pay 89 ringgit and 90 cents to get into the program. It's great because you can monetize straight away. For say YouTube, you need to get at least 1,000 subscribers to start monetizing, and you need to, like say Twitch, you have to have certain amount of criteria to get started to monetize. Sign me up. Thanks, Tim. You don't have to ask me for permission, Once the Apple Podcasts, once I put on my shows and the Apple podcasting program starts, you'll be able to just click a few buttons and then you signed up, Tim. Get what I'm saying? Just click a few buttons and you signed up. Thanks, Tim. Really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Okay, so right now I'm gonna go through what's on this 9 to 5 Mac thing. Let's continue with looking through this article, right? This post.
Alex Mather, founder and CEO of The Athletic. Our team loves bringing deeply immersive storytelling to maniacal sports fans around the world, and our listeners tune into over 1 million hours of sports news, analysis, and storytelling each week. We know true sports fans are always looking for stories about their clubs and teams told through a new lens, and with Apple Podcast subscriptions, we can deliver even more great stories in an all-new way, ad-free, directly through Apple Podcasts. Podcasts have also become an important way to understand what's happening in the world. Listeners turn to podcasts to make sense of major moments in news and culture. With Apple Podcast subscriptions, listeners gain a simple and intuitive way to support quality programming from newspapers, magazines, digital publishers, local radio stations, and more, directly from Apple Podcasts. John F. Lansing, President and CEO of NPR, Apple has been a valued partner to our podcasting work since it all started back in 2005, and we support their plan to enable a new revenue source for content creators on their platform. Apple Podcast subscriptions will provide another opportunity for listeners to support their favorite podcasters at NPR and our member stations in our mission to create a more informed public. Chris Argenteri, President and Chief Operating Officer of the Los Angeles Times, subscriptions have always been an important source of support for our business, and podcasting has established itself as a powerful medium for large audiences to engage with our brand of journalism and storytelling. The ability to marry the two with Apple Podcast subscriptions will allow us to expand our audio offerings to cover new formats, stories, communities, and more. Stefan Adolitz, co-CEO and head of product for Der Spiegel, one of the top news publishers in Germany. Audio is a uniquely powerful medium that provides Der Spiegel an opportunity to deeply engage audiences so they can form a meaningful relationship with our brand. We're pleased to see the significant investment in podcasting from Apple, which will open doors to new, long-term revenue opportunities that will further empower us to pursue even more ambitious independent audio journalism. With Apple Podcast subscriptions, the freedom to develop and enjoy entirely new audio storytelling experiences will redefine podcasting in ways that are surprising and gratifying for creators and listeners alike. Maggie McGuire, CEO of Pina, an on-demand audio entertainment service for kids. Apple Podcast subscriptions empowers Pina to deliver the very best storytelling for kids and their families. Our ad-free subscriptions will feature a collection of award-winning original series, including action-adventures, mysteries, comedies, game shows, musicals, and much more. We couldn't be more excited to connect kids around the globe with their next favorite podcast. Dennis Cooker, President of Global Digital Business and U.S. Sales at Sony Music Entertainment, Apple is putting creators first with their approach to the subscription model. Offering subscriptions provides new flexibility and options for consumers, and is an important addition to helping creators better monetize their works. All of this will lead to more investment and even better shows for podcast fans. Malcolm Gladwell and Jacob Weisberg, co-founders of Pushkin Industries, podcasting totally changed my approach to storytelling, and Apple Podcast subscriptions is a mind shift, said Gladwell, who also hosts Revisionist History. Our producers and I have so many ideas that don't fit into existing models but will now have an outlet. This is a big step forward in the evolution of the audio content business, and we are excited about it. Added Weisberg, podcasting exists and thrives today because of Apple. Apple Podcast subscriptions will help us connect more deeply with our listeners and build a healthy business. We strongly believe that paid subscriptions are what independent creators like us need to succeed and thrive over the long term, and we're thrilled that Apple is taking the lead. Apple revolutionized personal technology with the introduction of the Macintosh in 1984. Today, Apple leads the world in innovation with iPhone, iPad, Mac, Apple Watch, and Apple TV. Apple's 5 software platforms, iOS, iPadOS, macOS, watchOS, and tvOS, provide seamless experiences across all Apple devices and empower people with breakthrough services including the App Store, Apple Music, Apple Pay, and iCloud. Apple's more than 100,000 employees are dedicated to making the best products on Earth and to leaving the world better than we found it.
Cool. I'm all psyched. Answering your question, Tim. Answering your question, what topics we will be showing? Yes, I already got a list of things I'm gonna be. I already have a plan. It's sort of like an initial plan. The initial plan is to have different topics for 7 days a week. So let me check my 7-day plan here. My 7-day plan is, let me check. Podcasting. Mondays we have marketing. We're going to talk about marketing on Monday. We're going to talk about tech on Tuesdays. We're going to talk about productivity on Wednesdays. We're talking about coding on Thursdays. We're talking about books on Fridays. Talking about music on Saturdays. And Sundays we have movies. Okay? So that's 7 days of content. And of course, if you're a subscriber, you'll get access to show that episodes that are not available to non-subscribers. Non-subscribers will get daily motivation. Daily motivation is a 5-minute daily motivation thing, and then there is also a daily journal thing, which is probably gonna be a daily journal about stuff that I've been through a day before. So if today is the day I'm like podcasting about my life, a daily journal, I'll be podcasting about what has happened the day before. So I don't know. I hope that a lot of things happen each and every day. It usually is more about say what I read and what I consume and what I have what I experience in daily life with Bay Bear, and usually it's about say what kind of new gadgets I want to get, what kind of new books I want to read, what kind of new stuff I want to purchase. Usually it's more about what I want to purchase but what I want to put on my wish list. And of course, daily journal will include news, right? News, like daily news, like say what has happened yesterday and what are my thoughts and what I feel that can happen in the future, or what it has to do with me and my listeners, that kind of thing. And so that's on the list, and that's the idea. And then of course I have life. We talk about life in general, so probably talking about stuff about we're talking about stuff like life, in general, like life, like say tips about life, So Tim, which part did you not listen to? Cause okay, let's just recap what I just said. I said that I have a 7-day plan, 7-day schedule. So the schedule is like as follows: Mondays marketing, Tuesday tech support, no, Tuesday tech, Wednesday productivity, Thursday coding, Friday books, Saturday music, and Sunday movies. So everybody will have their own preference or their own interests, and so if you want to if you want to know any of the things on the list, you come on the days that you prefer. Maybe you like tech, maybe you like marketing. Then marketing is on Monday, tech is on Tuesday. So if you like that too, you just come on Monday and Tuesdays. And for the rest of the things, you can probably say tell your friends about it, and tell your friends about my podcast, and maybe they like movies. So everybody likes movies, so probably there's a lot of people that are gonna come on Sundays, because Sundays is weekend we don't do nothing, we just relax. And for me, I'm working on my podcast. Okay, so whatever it is, I'm gonna try to schedule a daily posting of these podcasts 7 days a week. And then of course every day there will be daily motivation, 5-minute daily motivation for only subscribers only. Subscribers only will be able to get access to daily motivation, daily news and journal stuff, and also basically just life tips, talking about life in general. I'm gonna probably talk about stuff that has to do with we can probably start a conversation. You can email me life tips, anything you want, and then on every day I'm gonna talk about the many things that people send me, right? Like if you probably have feedback, you probably have ideas and suggestions, and maybe even tips to for the many topics or the many things that I'm actually talking about. You probably want to join me in the conversation about the many things, and eventually one day we probably can collab, and you can probably be a guest on the show. Hey Tim, why not, right? So almost like Mind Valley. Yeah, Mind Valley is like a sort of like a future education. And right now, after reading that article, that post about Apple Podcasts, I feel that I can probably tell stories, probably spread news, and talk about how to, like, it's actually daily audio book, if I may put it, like an short audio book. It's just radio plus audiobook plus sound bites plus storytelling plus just plain listening fun. We're gonna participate in the conversation through the community that we build through this podcast, and then we're just gonna help each other become better us, better people. No matter where you are, no matter what you've been through, we're there for you. Our whole community will be there for you to accompany you through this journey. Whatever it is, wherever you are, we're there for you. And we're building this community through this podcast called Mickey Jones. And yes, my name is Victor O, but then I'm creating a Mickey Jones podcast. Mickey Jones is my brand, meaning that if I were to be able to somehow create a brand around Mickey Jones, it means that I created Mickey Jones. It's like I created Spider-Man, that kind of thing. So I created Mickey Jones. I don't want to be, Stan Lee wouldn't say I am a superhero, that kind of thing. I don't want that to happen. I probably want to create something that is worthwhile to create, where Mickey Jones, probably we want to say that Mickey Jones wants you to get all the best information and try to and all the fake news that you get will not exist here with Mickey Jones, because Mickey Jones is here to help you to debunk, to weed out all the fake news, and to get to the truth. of it all. You know, yes, sometimes we understand that truths are very dangerous, because if people are not ready for the truth, then there'll be problems. Like, you know, if you see Star Trek, they go to a primitive planet, and they say they cannot reveal themselves because the primitive people cannot accept Star Trek being so much more advanced than what the primitive people are like. You know, they probably cannot understand, you know, what's going on with these spaceships and stuff like that, like all the technology and all that. They probably will not be able to understand, and they probably become fearful, and they probably would harm themselves in some way or the other. So that's why truths are very, very dangerous, and thus we shall get to the truth in the right way. You know, we're gonna be able to get to the truth somehow in the language of today. You know, we're gonna be able to get to truth by framing it in such a way that everybody can accept it. You know, that kind of thing. So that's the idea, to be able to frame truths with the consciousness and mindset of what people are, with what people have today, this very day, in this very age, you know, right now. So whatever it is that comes during that period, I've already signed up. I've already signed up for the podcast. We signed up for a year, and that's 89 ringgit 90 cent. I straight away signed up. I didn't even have to read the agreement or whatever, because I know it's Apple, and I trust Apple. And that's, I mean, if I were to sign up with some other company, I would probably read the agreement very, very carefully. But then, hey, Apple, I trust Apple 100%. So I straight away clicked 89 ringgit 90 cent, just clicked and click. And then, yep, I paid. I'm on this journey, this Apple Podcaster program journey. And so I'm very psyched, and I've paid 89 ringgit 90 cent. So that's why I'm starting the journey right here, right now. Okay? So what does that mean? It means that, hey, guys, look forward to the many, many wonderful programs that are coming your way. I'm going to work as hard as I can to put in the work to get stuff to you as best as I can, you know, as best as I can. I will try to make it entertaining and fun, and hopefully you don't fall asleep, okay? I mean, they better fall asleep every time I talk, so what can I say? I still believe in myself. If I listen to myself and I find myself entertaining and interesting enough to listen to, and I'm not talking crap and stuff like that, I'm good, you know, I'm good, you know. I am 100% happy with myself. You know what I'm saying? So okay. So let's go to say let's read the agreement. All right, guys. I'm gonna read the agreement. Okay, let's just go through this podcast connect. See, I now, if you can see on this screen. Which I have not put on the screen yet. See this? This is what you get when you sign up for Apple Podcast Connect. Okay, and right now I have just signed up, and they say it takes a few hours to get my account set up. So if I were to refresh it, yep, still doesn't work. Never mind, doesn't matter. So we have analytics, we have accounts. Does it even work yet? Does it? Am I showing you the? Yep, I'm showing you the screen. Accounts. Let's just click accounts. Okay, this is my name is Mickey Jones. I have a podcaster program. I'm signed up for it. My account ID and stuff. And oh shit, is that even that? Can I even show my ID? I should be able to show my ID. There's show manager, and there's finance, and there's legal. And that's admin. What that mean? Legal. I probably can call uncle something to help me out. Finance. I don't know. I probably put my accountant on on this list. My show manager. I'm the show manager. Analyst. I'm the show analyst. Anyways, I'll do everything I can for myself. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, how much time does it take to manage one show, right? Anyways, details. Oh, I've been through the details, payments and agreements, and then this one. I can sign in as Mickey Jones or Jen Shi. Let's go support. Let's check it out. Introducing Apple subscriptions, starting blah blah blah. Okay, analyze, promote, grow. And analytics to help you learn about your listeners, build a better show, explore world of podcasting resources. Okay, I'm all ears. A world of podcasting resources. Okay, new marketing. Put your podcast in more places. Okay, I'm all ears. Create embedded players to get your show in front of new listeners across the web. Learn more about your listeners. Create trailers to promote new episodes. Yep, I'm all upcoming guests, new seasons, your show. Okay. Bring your podcast idea to life. Right now, I feel that there's not much resources yet. So I think that they're gonna build through time. Okay, there we go. Create a channel, manage. Okay, okay. This is all just technical stuff. Let's just go through Apple Podcasts content guidelines. Yes, we have to go through that one. Okay, let's listen in.
Apple Podcasts content guidelines. Starting in early May, channels and subscriptions will be available to anyone in the Apple Beta software program. This means they'll be able to view published shows, purchase subscriptions, and listen to subscriber audio. Learn more about the beta. Apple strives to present your content in a clean and accurate form. We know it takes effort to get it exactly right, so we've created this reference guide to help you format your content, art, and metadata for the optimal experience. Following these guidelines will make it less likely that we have to remove your content submission from Apple Podcasts. Use of Apple Incorporated copyrighted terms. Podcasts not produced by Apple Incorporated must not use Apple trademarks, such as the Apple logo, Apple Incorporated, or Apple Podcasts, in the podcast RSS feed in a way that makes the content appear to be Apple branded or created by Apple. The term Apple Podcasts should be used to refer to the entire Apple Podcasts ecosystem, including Apple Podcasts for iOS and Apple Podcasts for Mac. To learn more, see guidelines for using Apple trademarks and copyrights. Accuracy. Metadata and cover art must match and accurately represent the audio content of the podcast. For example, if the cover art and the audio are for a podcast titled Hiking Tracks, but the metadata is for the hungry tourist, then the items don't match. Cultural sensitivities. It is the podcast creator's responsibility to be knowledgeable about local regulations and cultural sensitivities. Content distributed must be legal and appropriate for the countries or regions where the content is cleared. This content may be removed if it does not follow this guidance. Editorial corrections. Apple Podcasts reserves the right to modify metadata, such as hosts and guests, as reasonably necessary to improve the customer experience. Explicit content flagging. Explicit content must be flagged explicit. If a show is flagged explicit, each episode is automatically explicit. Alternatively, individual episodes can be flagged explicit. Language. The appropriate language must be identified in the podcast RSS feed at the show level. Misleading. Content may be removed if designed to mislead customers by mimicking popular content or search terms. Nazi propaganda. Content must not depict Nazi symbolism as restricted by local law, such as the Strafgesetzbuch Section 86A, or any other country that restricts Nazi propaganda. If content violating Strafgesetzbuch Section 86A is submitted 3 times, your entire catalog could be removed from Apple Podcasts. Password protected. Content that requires a password to access is prohibited. Prohibited content. Content that is illegal or promotes illegal activity, self-harm, violence, or illegal drugs, or content depicting graphic sex, gore, or is otherwise considered obscene, objectionable, or in poor taste is prohibited. Repeated submissions. Content may be removed if multiple copies of a podcast or episode are submitted. Rights infringement. Podcasts can't contain materials that infringe on the rights of others, for example, copyright, right of publicity, trademark, and so on. Self-censored titles. Do not self-censor language in titles or descriptions. These metadata fields must be written as intended, and all words should be completely spelled out. Apple Podcasts automatically censors certain explicit words in titles. For example, you do not need to insert asterisks within explicit words unless they were included in the original title. For example, FK and ST, spam content or other content created with the sole purpose of advertising or marketing products, content, or services outside of Apple Podcasts is prohibited. Stop-related content. Review the requirements for a podcast RSS feed and see examples of correctly formatted XML tags. Follow our tech.
Cool. So no Nazi, man. No Nazi. I don't know what that means. I know it has something to do with Hitler and his gang of people. It's all I know. I don't want to know anything else. Okay, let's go to artwork requirements. Let's check it out.
Artwork requirements. Your artwork is what helps listeners visually identify your podcast and should represent the brand or logo of your show. Creating interesting or otherwise compelling artwork can help your show attract new listeners and gain new followers and subscribers. Artwork must be original and can't contain any of the following: blurry, misaligned, mismatched, or pixelated images, explicit language, placeholder images, Apple Incorporated, Apple Podcasts, or iTunes Store logos. The terms Apple Incorporated, Apple Podcasts, Apple Music, iTunes Store, or iTunes. Visual representation of Apple hardware. References to illegal drugs, profanity, or violence. For inspiration, see the top shows chart on Apple Podcasts. Channel artwork. Channel artwork should be a reflection of the channel's content. Logo and background. Your channel logo should be a transparent PNG file. Use our logo template to ensure your artwork looks great on Apple Podcasts. Channel logo template.zip. To set your background color, enter a hex value or open up the color picker and select the shade you want. A hex value is a 6-digit code used to specify a color. Your channel logo must meet these technical specifications. Size, 3000 by 750 pixels. Resolution, 72p. File type, transparent PNG. Color space, RGB. Here are some best practices for creating your channel logo and background. Use horizontal logos. Size the logo to use as much of the template space as possible. Do not extend logo beyond the template. Do not include icons. Do not skew your logo. Do not use text effects. Make sure the logo is legible on the channel background color. Icon. The channel icon is a graphic symbol that represents your channel. The icon is cropped into a circle and appears on your channel page. Avoid using small, detailed imagery as your icon should be legible at small sizes. Use our icon template to ensure your artwork looks great on Apple Podcasts. Channel icon template.zip. Size, 3000 by 3000 pixels. Resolution, 72p. File type, JPEG or PNG. Color space, RGB. Subscription artwork. Primary promotion. This promotion pops up whenever a non-subscriber tries to access subscriber audio. Add artwork, then select 3 features from a predefined list or enter your own custom description. This way, you give listeners a sense of what's included and provide a quick way to subscribe. Use our primary promotion template to ensure your artwork looks great on Apple Podcasts. Subscription promotion template.zip. Size, 3000 by 3000 pixels. Resolution, 72p. File type, JPEG or PNG. Color space, RGB. Promotional banner. This banner will display on any show that includes subscriber audio, giving listeners a quick way to subscribe. Size, 1080 by 1080 pixels. Resolution, 72p. File type, JPEG or PNG. Color space, RGB. Show artwork. Show artwork for your podcast must meet these technical specifications. Use our show cover template to ensure your artwork looks great on Apple Podcasts. Show cover template.zip. Size, 3000 by 3000 pixels. Note, if you're submitting your show via RSS feed, Apple Podcasts accepts show cover artwork ranging from 1400 x 1400 to 3000 by 3000 pixels. The largest size is preferred. Resolution, 72p. File type, JPEG or PNG. Color space, RGB. Here are some show artwork best practices. Make your artwork simple and easily recognizable for search results. Include your podcast title. Use clear, large fonts and relevant imagery. Use the maximum resolution of 3000 by 3000 pixels. Avoid including logos of sponsors or ad groups. Avoid putting artwork elements at the bottom of your image as they may be obscured by play progress indicators. Be mindful of dark mode. Episode artwork. While show artwork is a requirement for all podcast submissions, episode artwork is optional and can be added only to shows submitted by an RSS feed. Episode artwork is a great way to attract new listeners. Consider creating unique images for each episode that focus on the talent or topics covered. Size, square, 3000 by 3000 pixels. Note, if you're submitting your show via RSS feed, Apple Podcasts accepts episode artwork ranging from 1400 x 1400 to 3000 by 3000 pixels. The largest size is preferred. Resolution, 72p. File type, JPEG or PNG. Color space, RGB.
Okay, let's go podcast, RSS. What does that mean? Let's check it out.
Podcast RSS feed requirements. Apple requires podcasts meet technical requirements to provide a great experience for listeners and make it easier for them to find their new favorite podcasts. To submit a podcast, you must have an Apple Podcast Connect account. If your podcast comes from an RSS feed, it must meet our technical requirements and include required tags, at least one episode, artwork, podcast RSS feed technical requirements. Your hosting provider should be able to help you address technical requirements. If the feed does not comply with these requirements, it will result in feed validation errors. RSS feeds can be self-generated and hosted, or can be issued by a hosting provider. RSS feed URLs must adhere to RSS 2.0 specifications, be publicly addressable, not password protected, and include the following XML declaration, less than, $XML version equals 1.0 encoding equals UTF-8, RSS version equals 2.0 XMLNS iTunes equals iTunes.com XMLNS content equals pro.org greater than display your show artwork and allow streaming playback of your episodes by enabling your hosting server for HTTP head requests and byte range requests. Each episode must have a unique enclosure tag, along with its three required components, URL, length, and type, which specify the location and host of the episode. Apple Podcasts will ignore duplicate enclosure URLs. All episodes must contain a globally unique identifier, GUID, which never changes. Use only ASCII file names and URLs that include A to Z, or 0 to 9. For more information, see Encoding Best Practices. Respect case sensitivity across all XML tags in podcast RSS feeds. Incorrect casing. iTunes category text equals kids and amp. Family, greater than correct casing. iTunes category text equals kids and amp. Family, greater than. Date and time must conform to RSD 2822 specifications. The date must be day of week, day month year, and the time must be in 24-hour format, without including AM or PM, with the times and offset included. For example, incorrect date format. Pub date greater than 7/6/20,141 hours 0 minutes 0 seconds PM /pub date correct date format. Pub date Wednesday, 6th July 201,413 hours 0 minutes 0 seconds PDT /pub date Wednesday, 6th July 201,413 hours 0 minutes 0 seconds 0700/pub date. Use an APOS for single quote or in quote for double quote. Avoid using HTML naming conventions such as enrusquo semicolon enlusquo, enlquo, or enrudquo. For more information, see XML character and entity references. Incorrect character format. Description: love to get outdoors and discover nature in Risquo. As treasures? High-Contrex is the show for you. Lesson/description title in Mlquo. Wilderness area garden of the gods in Mlquo. In Illinois is a delightful spot for an extended hike. Lesson/title. Correct character format. Description: love to get outdoors and discover nature in Apos. As treasures? High-Contrex is the show for you. Lesson/description title in Quat. Wilderness area garden of the god in Quat. In Illinois is a delightful spot for an extended hike. Lesson/title: if using these symbols, use the appropriate programming. Character name corresponding programming and ampersand and amp less than sign and LT, greater than sign and GT, apostrophe and apos, quotation and quat, copyright sign and hashtag SA9, sound recording copyright and hashtag X2117, trademark TN trademark sign and hashtag X2122. Examples. Incorrect code. Title pets and animals / title correct code. Title pets and animals / title incorrect code. Copyright and copy 2020 John Doe / copyright correct code. Copyright and hashtag SA9 2020 John Doe / copyright tip.
Okay, last one I think. We have the last one. This one.
Artwork requirements. Your artwork is what helps listeners visually identify your podcast and should represent the brand or logo of your show. Creating interesting or otherwise compelling artwork can help your show attract new listeners and gain new followers and subscribers. Artwork must be original and can't contain any of the following: blurry, misaligned, mismatched, or pixelated images, explicit language, placeholder images, Apple Incorporated, Apple Podcasts, or iTunes Store logos. The terms Apple Incorporated, Apple Podcasts, Apple Music, iTunes Store, or iTunes. Visual representation of Apple hardware. References to illegal drugs, profanity, or violence. For inspiration, see the top shows chart on Apple Podcasts. Channel artwork. Channel artwork should be a reflection of the channel's content. Logo and background. Your channel logo should be a transparent PNG file. Use our logo template to ensure your artwork looks great on Apple Podcasts. Channel logo template.zip. To set your background color, enter a hex value or open up the color picker and select the shade you want. A hex value is a 6-digit code used to specify a color. Your channel logo must meet these technical specifications. Size, 3000 by 750 pixels. Resolution, 72p. File type, transparent PNG. Color space, RGB. Here are some best practices for creating your channel logo and background. Use horizontal logos. Size the logo to use as much of the template space as possible. Do not extend logo beyond the template. Do not include icons. Do not skew your logo. Do not use text effects. Make sure the logo is legible on the channel background color.
I went through this whole thing. Yep, I've gone through that. Alright guys, thank you very much for being here today with me. Today we have explored what Apple Podcasters program is about, and anybody is able to sign up for the program for 89 ringgit 90 cents, which is about $19.99 USD, and you can possibly get subscribers who pay for your channel episodes and show stuff, which the pricing is determined by yourself. For the first year, Apple is going to take 30% of the cut, but eventually in subsequent years they're going to take just 15%, and that's everything in a nutshell. It starts in May, this program, but in the days to come in April, they'll probably release information how to get started and how to get up to speed with getting your shows done. Do as many shows as you want. Unlimited number of shows you can do, unlimited number of hours you can put in for your podcast. And hey, I hope that you will be able to. Yes, it's $19.99 USD for 1 year for us podcasters. For us podcasters, we have to pay $19.99 to be able to monetize. Meaning that if we want people to pay us, we have to pay that $19.99 for the podcaster program. If we don't pay that $19.99, we will not be able to charge and use their system to use the in-app subscription. The little thing the buttons that you click in order for people to subscribe and pay us. So if you don't pay the $19.99, you will not have the opportunity to get yourself paid for this podcast that you put on the Apple Podcast. So there you have it. Thank you very much for being here today. We are on to a very good start for Apple. How about subscribers? Subscribers, you can basically charge anything you want. You can charge $100.99 per month if you want. If you want to charge $1,000, you can. But of course, is there going to be anybody that's going to subscribe to your channel, right? So you can charge by month, you can charge by year. So if I want to subscribe to your podcast, how much does it cost? Well, Tim, that is not certain yet. We will not talk about how much it is, but right now, I will call you, Tim. I will stop this feed, I will stop this live streaming, and I'm going to call you, Tim, right? Thank you very much, guys, for being here today. This is a live streaming of my exploration of the Apple Podcasters program. We have been through the many things that is about what Apple is trying to create this thing for, this program for us all to somehow educate, inform, and entertain the world with by our voice and our creativity. And somehow a lot of people like to listen more than they like to read, and so there you have it. We are in for a great ride here. This is my very first day on this podcast program thing. I signed up straight away, and I went through a lot of little problems with signing up. But here's one tip, guys. Here's one tip. If you're gonna put in your address and it says that it has some kind of error, you just click that submit button or the add button a few times. Click it enough times and it will go through. I don't know what that means. I don't know how that actually happened. But then I went through probably 20 or 30 times of trying to submit my address, but then it didn't go through. So I changed my office address to my housing address, and then when I changed my housing address, it didn't go through too. I clicked the add button a few times and it went through. Well, magic. It's all about magic here, man. So guys, thank you very much. I wish you peace and a very good day ahead. We have been streaming for an hour, and I hope that we will talk soon, and I'll see you soon. Peace.